little testing today at our hometown little spot that we have where we set up the track. Gabby, say hi.
It's cold.
So here's what, yeah, it's very cold. So here's what we're doing. Gabby wanted to do a little blind taste test, if you will, on Merica with RaceFlight. Exactly the same setup with Merica BetaFlight. All tuned properly, both of them.
This is tuned. This will be stock PIDs on the ultra low filter settings. That's the only difference. Same props, same motors,
same OSD,
same everything. I won't be able to tell any difference.
He's not going to be able to tell. I'm going to arm both quads so he can't hear the difference in the tones. I'm going to set his radio to which quad it is, hand him the radio, unplug one quad, and let him fly it. And we're going to do like a blind taste test on which one he thinks is better, RaceFlight or BetaFlight. Totally unbiased. Anything else to add?
No, I mean, pretty much everything is exactly the same. Quads are on the same props, motors, like we mentioned, same exact settings on the cameras. They're exactly the same weight. All the components are exactly the same. They're basically twin builds except for the color of the canopy. And so it should be a very good test between the two. See what feels better, and you know. What
are you going to overlay footage of the flight footage? You going to record some DVR?
We can do that, and then of course see what the stopwatch says, because that's where it's at.
Yeah, we do have a timer set up over here, and then you'll see the course. It's a pretty cool course that we have set up. It's our normal course that we set up every week when we fly. So, all right, stay tuned. Go ahead, set you down. Gabby's gonna sit down over there. I'm gonna go ahead and put your goggles on. I'm gonna power both quads up. There's one. Oh, they make the same tones. Oh, no they don't. Alright, so there's one, there's two. They're both powered up. He has no clue. He can't see me.
Hang on, I'm gonna DVR right now so they know how exactly it looks. It looks the same.
He doesn't know which one's which. I'm gonna go set him on the line. And then we're gonna go with, he can't see me point right now, but we're gonna go with, alright.
You unplug one?
Yep, unplug one.
There.
We got video?
Yeah, now it's good.
Good video. Now he's got good video. We're not interrupting. I have his radio, just so you know, and I had to change it. He hasn't seen what it is. It's still on. There's your radio right in front of you. Right there. Right there, you got it. All right, we got the lap timer going. We'll let you know what these lap times are real quick. Go ahead.
Lap 39, 25.34 seconds.
25.3.
Lap 40, 23.85 seconds.
23.8. Last lap.
Lap 41, 23.94 seconds.
23.9. Pretty consistent, man. Go ahead and land. Don't take your goggles off. That's close enough. Don't take your goggles off. Give me the radio. I got the radio. Now I'm pointing the camera away so he can't see me walking up. Can't see anything. Unplug. Now I gotta plug them both back in again.
You're gonna have to select the model before you plug them in.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can, so bring the radio.
I got the model selected now on your radio, so now unplug them and plug them back in?
Yeah, so do that now. Okay. Yeah, do it again.
Did they bind you correctly?
Yeah.
Still DVR?
Yeah, it's still DVR.
Now, here's your radio. 23.8, I think it was. Yeah. 23.8 and 23.9. Yeah. All right. You're ready to go. First lap, had a mess up.
Lap 45, 24.74 seconds.
24.7.
Lap 46, 24.1 seconds.
24.1, man. You're right on times. Ooh, it's gonna be a fast one.
Lap 47, 23.29 seconds.
Woo! 23.2. So land over there. Don't take your goggles off.
I got it. This one.
Don't take your goggles off. Don't do anything. So he's facing away so he can't see. I'm gonna unplug. Don't take your goggles off yet. So the second one was BetaFlight. That one. Alright, I'm gonna mix them up. Alright, here's your quads. You can take your goggles off now. Don't look down at your controller. Let me turn your controller off. There you go. Controller's off. Set the controller up here. Alright, initial reaction, initial impressions, I guess.
So I would say the second one was the fastest lap. It felt a little bit less consistent, but I was able to pull a better lap. It just sounded cleaner at full throttle, and it just seemed to be a little bit better with the prop wash handling. That was the main difference. The first quad I felt a little bit more connected to it, so I was able to be more consistent and hit the gates a little bit easier. But I had it just when I was turning, the prop wash handling wasn't as good as it was.
The second one sounded crisp.
It just sounded crisp and clean, like it was almost like it was pulling more RPM in straights. I got to think, you know.
And they are identical builds.
Yeah,
identical motors, identical batteries, charged identically. Everything's identical on them. So.
Yeah.
Verdict? Guess? What's your guess?
I mean, definitely the lap time, I think, doesn't lie.
The second one had a lap time that was better by far.
Yeah.
By far.
It took me a little. I did do an extra lap, but it took me just a little bit more to get used to that. I was kind of feel like I was looking a little bit more for my marks, but it definitely had the filtering or the prop wash handling just a little bit better. I think more tuned into it. I don't know, based on the experience I've had before, which is not much on RaceFlight, I've noticed that I haven't quite found the right filtering settings. So I'm gonna say the first one was the RaceFlight, and the second one, which sounded really nice and crisp, was one that I've kind of been tuning for quite a bit. I think they're both pretty good, but obviously lap time doesn't lie at this time.
So the verdict was, I was whispering to the camera while you had your goggles on. The first one was RaceFlight. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep.
Second one was BetaFlight. Now the first one, I think we'll look at the times, but I think you had a 23.8 and a 23.9 and a 24 something.
Yeah.
So it was more consistent. You messed up the first lap on this. You hit a gate, so you took an extra lap at the end. But you went a 24.1 at the end and then a 23.2.
Yeah.
And this is on a track that you've flown.
Yeah, this is the same layout we always fly. So it's not like this is my first pack. I've been warming up with another quad for like 8 packs before. So it's not like I just went back to back and I only went faster because it was the second run where I was better. But I know this track pretty well, and they both fly different. They both fly very well.
And this is like a test that I don't think I've ever seen anybody do. I don't think I've seen anybody do a blind taste test type thing with 2 identical quads. Just for, you weren't doing it for other people's purposes. You were doing it because you want your honest opinion for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
on which way to go with future builds.
Absolutely. And I bought everything, well, except the frames. Those are Catalyst Machine Works frames.
Ta-da!
Very good. But I bought the motors, I bought the flight controllers, everything. So very unbiased here with this test that we're trying to do.
Yeah, none of that was, you're not sponsored or nothing like that by a electronics company yet.
Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do now is dedicate probably 3-4 packs to each one, so I can really get in tune and not just have like a one-lap wonder sort of thing. And then we'll get back to you with the best lap times of each. Okay, so final conclusions. I spent about 5 more packs through each. About 2 of those on the RaceFlight build. I did it just to mess around with the tune a little bit, see if I could get it a little bit closer to where I thought it would be. It should be for me. At the end of the day, I got a lot faster on the RaceFlight build. I pretty much went about 2 seconds faster, which is quite a lot. That's another variable, obviously, in this test is my skill level. I am no elite pilot by any means. Recently got into racing. I think I have a skill level enough to maybe get some sort of information from this test, but it is by no means, kind of like the final last word. But I did end up going quite a bit faster on the RaceFlight build, about 1.5 seconds faster than the BetaFlight, which I...
And why do you think that was?
I just got more comfortable in it, and once I got the tune a little bit closer to where I thought it should be, so all I did was I went from the stock level of 30% on the P. I went up to 35%. I went as high as 40, but then that was just making a bunch of oscillations at full throttle. Messed around with the TPA a little bit with the curve at the end there, just to see if I could tune that out. Didn't really have much success. I ended at 35% on the P. That kind of, it was a sweet spot where it sounded almost pretty clean.
On the RaceFlight.
On the RaceFlight, yeah. And once I did that, I just felt a little bit more in tune, more connected than before. And I was just mainly I was just really consistent on it, to where I could push, you know, to the best of my ability and still make a lap. Now, when I went back to the BetaFlight build, I could right away hit the lap times that I did, that we showed you on the test, on the initial blind test, but I could not go any faster without crashing.
So you could push the RaceFlight board, you could push that system harder and feel more comfortable and connected to the quad when you push it harder?
Yeah, I think when you have enough flights through it, it just felt a little bit more connected to me, to my inputs, and in return I was more consistent. And when I wanted to push that a little bit extra, I could do it without crashing, which I couldn't really do on BetaFlight. That was the only difference, but still, I still cannot get rid of all those, you know, the flutters at full throttle.
It just doesn't sound as fast.
It definitely does not sound as clean on the straightaway, on the straights. Now, whether if there's any actual speed difference, obviously that's...
And that might have something to do with the multi-shot versus D-shot.
It could be, yeah, it could be. Like I said, I haven't been able to run D-shot yet on RaceFlight, so I don't know what that's like. Not that I need to. I mean, I think it feels pretty good as it is.
So conclusions? What are you thinking?
Conclusion, I mean, I think, you know, if you've already got a bunch of BetaFlight builds, it might be worth trying, you know, one to switch. I wouldn't do all of them yet, just to see what you think, make your own conclusions. I think I may have to end up switching it just based on what I felt. I may have to switch some of my other quads. I'm gonna keep some of my BetaFlight boards just because I know it pretty well. But obviously you just can't go wrong with whichever way you go. They're both pretty quick. Yeah, it's just, you know, I think you've got a little bit more adjustability on BetaFlight that maybe you don't on RaceFlight, but maybe I just don't know how to use the program card as well yet. But overall, I think for starters that are looking to get into racing, I think RaceFlight will be a little bit easier to configure. It's a very easy guide.
Because that's a stock tune. The stock tune is like great out of the box with that.
Very, very good. As to you know, in BetaFlight, the stock tune does fine for if you're flying freestyle and stuff, but really for racing, I think you have to do quite a bit of tuning to get it up to a performance that you can compete with. So
yeah, to me it looked like you were consistently faster with the RaceFlight. I hate saying that because I don't like RaceFlight, but it did look like it might convince me to actually build one and try it out now. So it was a good day. Good day. As you can see, it's pitch dark out, so we raced until we couldn't see anymore.
Yeah.
So cool.
All right. So I'm at home, just editing the final video, and I wanted to just add something really quick before kind of wrapped up. So all I wanted to do was do like a side-by-side comparison of my two fastest laps of the day with each quad, with RaceFlight and BetaFlight. And if you're interested in that, that's coming up ahead, so you can see it side by side and see the difference. Thanks for watching.